Welcome back to iGaming for some more survival news. Yesterday, if you do not know, Nacon Connect did their 2024 event and released some pretty awesome titles. But the one we want to focus on today is Terminator Survivors. If you are a fan of the Terminator franchise, this one will probably be quite up your street, especially if you're a survival player and enjoy survival type games. Now, we haven't seen a Terminator game for a while. There was a strategy type game that released recently, which is Dark Fate, I believe it's called. And that sounds interesting, but as a Terminator and a survival fan, I've really been excited at the prospect of a Terminator game, where it sees you surviving in an open world and building a base and doing all of that cool stuff whilst trying to survive the machines and fight them off potentially. Very excited for what this game could bring. Now, it's developed by Nacon Studio Milan and published by Nacon. I'm pretty sure that's how you say it, Nacon, I don't know, one of those two. And it is going to be releasing into early access on the 24th of October 2024. So, that does sound like a long time away, but it is only, 7 months away now? So, not long at all. And for a Terminator game, I'm happy to wait. The most recent Terminator game where you were actually boots on the ground and playing was, I'm pretty sure it was Terminator Resistance, which we did cover back on the channel when it first released. And that was one of the first games that I actually did a playthrough for. And I think one of the videos there was my first one to ever hit 10,000 views. So, pretty cool. It's in the top right now. If you want to check out the Terminator playlist of the original Terminator Resistance that we covered a few years ago. Yep, dodgy mic quality. Probably some dodgy commentary as well. Very old for when I first started the channel. But if you want to check it out, it's there. Now, Terminator Survivors. This will see you playing as a survivor in an open world set in 2009, just after the Judgment Day, and you can face this world alone or in cooperative play. You'll be scavenging resources to save yourself, trying to get food, trying to get fuel, and you'll also be trying to build a base of operations for the rest of the Resistance, where you will be trying to fend off against Skynet's machines. But, as well as Skynet's machines, there are many human factions that are going to be wanting to take what you have built and what you've got. Now, unfortunately, we haven't seen any gameplay yet, but I'm very excited to see something from the team. Hopefully, we see something within the next few months, some sort of gameplay, at least just a little snippet. But if you are very interested, all of the socials for the game are in the description down below. I'm going to be following those closely, and when we do see some more news on gameplay, I'll be checking that out. But what we do know so far is that it has been 4 years since the day that humanity nearly perished. The truth of the event is still muddied in half-truths as you emerge from a shelter to attempt to reestablish some semblance of society in a world that seems hellbent on eliminating you and the last vestiges of mankind. Now what we've got to do is scavenge resources to try and find something to keep us going and keep us alive and build up a base of operations to fend off Skynet's machines. Now, something I'm very excited about is the game is paying a lot of attention to the original Terminator movies, Terminator 1 and 2. A lot of the stuff in the game is based around those two films, and we will see characters from those first two films and a few others pop in and out of the storyline as we progress through it. There is a sense of story there. I don't know if there's going to be a fully fledged storyline to it, or whether we're just going to meet characters that we've come across in the actual films themselves. In the footage that you see in the background, we have seen a few of the basic Skynet machines, but we have also seen a glimpse of the T-800. And there was also an article done by Polygon, which they revealed a little bit more from the director of the actual game and the studio. The link to that will also be in the description if anybody does want to read through the full article. The CEO and creative director at Nacon Milan, Marco Ponte, did say that Terminator Survivors players will face the dangers of the post-apocalyptic world whilst trying to cope with the threats posed by other human beings, as well as threats from Skynet's machines, including the iconic Terminator T-800. At first, survivors in the game world will be unaware of the existence of Skynet and the Terminator, but later will join forces with other survivors and discover the truth about the ongoing conflict and begin to fight back. You will also be able to meet famous characters from the Terminator franchise, in addition to some new characters as well. Now, as you join other survivors, we don't know whether those other survivors are going to be playable characters or not, or whether the 4 characters that will be playable, that's right, there are up to 4 player co-op, or you can play solo. It doesn't make too much of a difference. They have, by the looks of it, gone through a solo and co-op route, so playing either or depending on your player style doesn't really matter, and there'll be something that fits pretty much everyone, which is good for a survival game. A lot of the time survival games go with single player, which you can play relatively well on your own, or co-op. And when you play a co-op survival game, things tend to move a hell of a lot faster and you can get a lot more done, and the game tends to be a lot easier, whereas playing solo can sometimes be really punishing, which can be a bit of a shame. So if you are playing solo with certain survival games, you are a bit of a disadvantage in the game itself. But hopefully they have done a lot of solo and multiplayer aspects, so it's not just a one or the other type of thing, which is good. Hopefully they do that. Now when it comes to base building, we don't really know too much about it or the scavenging system. It does seem like there's going to be a management element of a base building system. So is that going to be modules that are already there that you just go in and manage and add resources, similar to something like State of Decay? Or is it going to be a fully fledged building system where you can actually build a base, have items in there, and then have a sort of survivor system like State of Decay? Who knows? But very, very interesting and very excited to see where they go with that system. And I do think that, rather than a fully fledged building system, would be more interesting, the sort of State of Decay style for the Terminator games. I think it would fit in really well. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think a giant open world where you could chop down trees, you can harvest materials and actually fully build a base would be really, really cool. But I don't think that would be something like on Judgment Day. After Judgment Day, you're going to be focused on, you know, building a giant metallic structure in the middle of the crushed cities or whatever. But I don't know. I'm unsure of what I'd prefer personally on this type. What do you think? What would you prefer more in a Terminator style game? Very excited though to see a building system and a survival system in a Terminator world. And when it comes to the scavenging and the actual base aspects, is this something that the Terminators can destroy? Can Skynet come in and destroy your base? Can they destroy resources that you're going after? Or can enemies take those resources away? So things do become relatively difficult in terms of gathering resources and trying to actually build and hold off Skynet. Can you form alliances with these enemy tribes that are out there, or enemy fighters that you come across? Are there multiple ways we can engage them? It does seem like there's going to be aspects of stealth which we'll be able to take on, or pretty much go gun-ho and kill anything and anyone that moves. But we'll have to wait and see. What do you guys think about Terminator Survivor? Are you excited for the game? Are you looking forward to more news on it? Let me know down in the comments below. But now though, we are going to wrap that one up there. I've been Wired. You guys have been awesome. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you very soon with some more survival.